Hi, I'm Adam Greentree, and I've got a new audio series called In Pursuit, where I take you through many of my adventures. The series includes soundscapes, so it really immerses you into my shoes. You'll feel like you're right there with me as I tell the story. It's available now on iTunes and Spotify. On this episode of In Pursuit, I shouldn't laugh, but it's slightly funny, talking about pig attacks, and particularly on one of my friends, Antonio, who's been attacked I don't know how many times now. I've nearly lost count. I have lost count. I've always said that a lot of animals can sense fear, and you hear people say that about dogs and stuff like that. And I definitely think it's true, and I think pigs are actually really good at sensing fear. After Antonio got attacked or nearly attacked by a pig the first time, he's been very fearful of pigs. Literally, in this story, he says, I saved his life. And maybe that was the case. Maybe I did save his life. We're out in a very remote part of Western New South Wales hunting pigs, and things turned for the worse. Antonio had a big boar, like real big tusky pig, charge and attack him. And he actually fell over. So as he was walking back, when this pig charged him, he was actually walking backwards, and there was a branch on the ground, and he actually fell over, and the pig ended up on top of him. So, and it was actually trying to go for his face. I'll never forget it. Antonio was like punching and kicking and trying to force this big wild boar off him. You know, it's a hard situation when it's like that, because so generally if you're hunting, you've got a bow or a gun or something like that, you'd shoot the animal, but you've got Antonio's limbs like moving all over this pig trying to fight it off. Like I couldn't just shoot it with a bow, because all I heard was Antonio scream, and I could just tell it was just something was desperately wrong. So I'm running towards him, and I've got a bow and arrow in my hand, but I can't shoot it. You know, I see this pig on top of him, but I can't shoot it. So I actually pulled out one of the arrows out of the quiver. I ran up straight up to this pig, and I just remember like driving this arrow into this pig and then pulling it back out, and the pig did a big swipe for me, because obviously I've got to get down at its height to drive the arrow in. And it took a big swipe at me, and it just went straight back to him, like, and trying to get him around the face. And I didn't know if it had already hooked him it could have hooked him in the jugular, you know, or a femoral artery in the leg, or his stomach, or anything. I didn't know if that had already happened. So just frantically, I just kept stabbing this pig. Eventually it died. And Antonio had told me only weeks before that he fainted his own blood. And once his pig had expired, I wanted to check Antonio over, but I was going to do it quietly. I wasn't, you know, I didn't want to freak him out. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're hours and hours from our camp, and probably another half a day to the nearest hospital. So we're not in a position where we want someone fainting out in the middle of nowhere, and it takes longer to get him to help. He was white as a ghost, so I remember, and I just said, just lay down, it's fine, just lay down. And I could see in his shoes had big tusk marks in them, like where had torn his shoes and stuff like that. And I checked him over, and I lifted up his first pant leg, and there was a horrible big gash in his leg. But I just said, oh, it was just a little scratch, and I put that pant leg back down, and I checked his other pant leg. His other leg was fine. It had scratches on it, like where the tusk had literally just like skipped across his skin. Anyway, so I said, oh, I'm gonna fix up this little scratch on your other leg, which was obviously that horrible big gash. So I started fixing it, and as I pulled his pant leg up and I'm about to fix it, one of our other friends comes over, and he's like, oh my God, look at the size of that gash. And Antonio like sits up and looks at the big hole in his leg and just faints, goes out cold. I don't know how long he faints for. That's one thing he never told me. Anyway, I got in and fixed his leg up, patched him up, and then he just came to, and we marched out of there. So he was very lucky, but it didn't end there. There was just episode after episode of like pigs trying to kill that man. And I tell you about all those episodes in this episode. Make sure you tune in and have a listen. I go into great depth about my friend and his nightmare with pigs. It's available right now on Spotify and iTunes.